Well, it's a new day, so a new project. And what I'm going to be doing today is sorting out these sweet bell peppers. These are California wonders, but I'm not specifically growing them to pot in the garden. What I want to do is grow them indoors all through winter. In some countries, people do grow peppers and chilies indoors, and they call them a perennial houseplant. So with the right conditions, it is possible. There's just a few things that you'll need to know in order to be successful at doing it. But first off, we've got these, and we need to move them on into individual pots because we're going to use the summer to grow them as big as we can, and then we're going to transfer them all indoors. So let's get them potted on straight away. So we'll just pot a few on and then we'll go over some of the requirements needed to grow them indoors. So as you can see, they're really nice, healthy looking plugs. So get a nice deep hole in that and drop this plug in and get it bedded in nicely. As always, trying to keep them upright and central. So quick and easy, one done. And because I want to keep these all together, I'm going to pop them into one of these. And once we get them out of these little cells, they're going to grow a lot quicker anyway. So we'll get them in, get them firmed down, and then we've got another one done. I'm looking to be doing about 15 to 20 of these. Once you get into the rhythm of this, it's really quick. So I'll crack on and get the rest of these done. If you're thinking about overwintering any peppers yourself, I've got a video out there that shows you how to germinate the seeds a little bit quicker than normal. Usually they take up to a month, but doing it the way I do it, they can be germinated in about a week. So if you're interested in getting some little seedlings started to overwinter yourself, have a look at that video and get some of these grown as soon as you can. Pretty quick job really, and I've potted on 15. Took about 10 minutes, so not a big job, but I've got my plants all set up ready now. Now when we was talking about requirements for these to grow them indoors all year long, you've definitely got to make sure they're warm enough. They won't grow if they're cold. So 70 degrees constant heat is what they really need. It can drop a little bit cooler in night time because they'd be used to that as they come from summer into autumn, but mainly they need lots of warmth during the day. And another problem you may come across is lighting. 6 to 8 hours daylight per day as a minimum that is what they need, because if they don't get that amount of light, then they're not going to grow flowers to grow fruit. So you might have to provide them with some artificial lighting like grow lights or a strip light. If you haven't got any of those things available, you can just use a little light like this, but you want to put the right bulb in it. And you can get the bulbs from Wilko's, and they're called a daylight bulb. And you'll know you've got the right one because on the bulb itself there's some writing, and on there it will say 6,500 Kelvin. And that's the light that I use to grow all my plants. You don't have to go out there and buy really expensive grow lights. I never have done. They might be £4 a bulb, but you know, if you're only growing a couple of pepper plants and you can fix this above the plants, then that's going to be perfectly fine for them. So that's one way you could do it. Another way you could do it is with these. These are LED panel lights, what you'd find in kitchen ceilings. The very low wattage, 18 watts these are, so very cheap to run. They'd definitely be cheaper to run than the light I've just shown you. If you can get some of these, I'll try and find some and leave a link in the description if possible. But I can run these day and night and they use pence. And again, these are 6,500 Kelvin, so perfect for growing any plants, not just peppers. So you could try those. So you've got to have that constant combination of heat and light. And they want fertilising as well, but not constantly. Just a little bit every few weeks, just to keep them going. And then of course the next factor that you need to look into is pollination, because if you're doing through winter and they're indoors, there's no bees, insects of any kind to pollinate the flowers, and they have to be pollinated, but you can pollinate them yourself. If you get a little cotton bud and you get your plant and you can see the flower on your plant, you just have to tickle it inside the flower with a cotton bud and that will pollinate it, and then it'll start to grow a pepper. So all those factors, like I say, you need the space, you need the warmth, you need the correct light. You could also use a sunny windowsill when that's available, but bear in mind that you're not going to get 6 to 8 hours of sun every day through winter. But when it does appear, you can put them on your windowsill and give us some really natural sunlight as well. But you've always got to have that extra light set up just so they get the right amount. So if that's something you feel like doing this year, just to see how you go as an experiment, by all means try it. And if you've already got pepper plants in pots that you're growing for this year, then you can just take those in instead of growing new ones, as long as they're in pots. If they're in the ground, you can dig them up and then put them into smaller pots. But there's always a chance that when you do that, they could die because you're really devastating root system. I've done it before and they've not died. But the best way to do it is to use them that's already in pots. And if they're in something like this, which is a 2 litre, that would be an ideal size to keep in right through until next year. But there's no problem with starting them off in this size. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you're going to try it, great. Let me know how you get on if you're going to try it, or if you've tried it before, whether it worked or whether it didn't. And if you want to see how these get on and all the other stuff that we've got going on, then please just hit the subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and we'll see you on the next video. You all take care. Thank you.